Today we will be working out again and discussing fatty liver disease. It is becoming an epidemic, especially here in the Western world, in the US. I don't know about Europe, but we are seeing it in majority of adults that don't even drink alcohol. We are beginning to see it in children, in pediatrics, and that's very worrisome. So I want to talk a little bit about the liver. Why do we need our liver? What is the implication of having fatty liver disease? If your doctor or your provider have told you that you have fatty liver disease, this video is for you. If you have a lot of abdominal weight where your abdomen is big, they call it different names, especially if you're a man, and you have that tummy that protrudes, this is for you. Your liver is seated right underneath your rib cage. Really, some of it is within your right rib cage. So right underneath, when you look at your tummy on that right side, that's where your liver is situated. Your liver is soft, like if you've seen it in the store, like the animal liver, it should be soft, bubbly, like really doesn't weigh too much to it. That's your normal liver. Why do we need our liver? Your liver is what breaks down some of the food that you eat. The liver is I call it not a trash can, but sort of like that, like a garbage disposal. All the bad stuff that come into your body goes into the liver to be detoxified. So your liver is the detoxifying engine in your body that things that are supposed to kill us, the liver takes it, repackages it, makes it not harm us, and put it somewhere else to be dealt with later. So your liver makes urea. It is a protein waste. When you eat protein, breaks it down, it makes urea so you can get the bad part out of your body. Your liver makes bile. Bile stays in the gallbladder and waits for when you eat fat. When you eat fat, that fat needs to be broken down. So that is what the liver does. It makes the bile, it stays there and waits for when you eat any food that has fat, and it will take care of it. Your liver also removes the bad cholesterol, the LDL, what we call the low density lipids. It removes it from your body, it takes it where they're supposed to be, and adds the good cholesterol, the HDL, to the blood. That is the one that is also protecting your arteries from hardening, protecting your heart, so you don't end up having a heart attack. So again, all the medications that you eat, the body, medication is not really part of food. It's not part of our body, right? So when you take in medication, the liver has to take it, deal with it so that what they do, they can get it to where they need to go to do what they need to do, but then it has to remove it from your body. That's why some medications are very bad for the liver, right? If you take too much of something like acetaminophen or paracetamol, they call it in other countries, and you take too much of it, the liver tries to deal with it, and sometimes if it's too much, it can poison it and it will fail. So that's how you know every medication you take goes through the liver to be dealt with and detoxify the drugs. And again, the toxins that you're eating in foods, some of the foods we eat, anything from the pesticides that they put in it, just name it. It is the liver that's taking out that toxin from it. Now, when you drink alcohol, that's the biggest toxin of all. The liver is also what is dealing with it. Every alcohol you consume has to get to the liver, where the liver finds a way to break it down and get it out of the body. Otherwise, we won't be able to survive. The liver also makes blood clotting materials. If you don't have the liver, then your blood will run without clotting. It means when you get cut, the blood will not stop flowing. That's one of the things that the liver does. And also it makes albumin, which is a part of protein. Anyway, so these are some of the things that the liver does. And sometimes things can become overwhelming for the liver. And when things become overwhelming for it, what we call the liver enzymes in the blood will go up. These will show up on your lab results when your doctor checks your lab results. When your liver fails completely, there is no way to live without one. But the nature is so great because your liver can tolerate a lot of stress. Your liver can actually regenerate. Unlike other parts of our body or organs in our body, it's so important that it has the ability to regenerate. But sometimes some people still are able to kill it completely, and it begins to get harder and harder. That when you touch it, it's hard. It begins, instead of the bubbly, soft thing that I was talking about in the beginning of this video, it gets harder and harder until you develop what we call fibrosis, which is a hardened liver. If it keeps going, it goes into what we call liver cirrhosis, really all over. It's hard, and then liver failure. But all of that starts with hepatic steatosis, which is fatty liver disease, basically. How does that happen in somebody that doesn't drink alcohol? We all know when you drink alcohol and you drink it too much, eventually, yes, you're going to get fatty liver disease. But some majority of people that have it today, like I said before, including children, they don't even drink alcohol. So it happens because of the glucose and fructose, basically the sweets in the food that we eat. So if you have been told that you have fatty liver disease, do me a favor. The first place you have to look at is in the sugar consumption. Regular sugar is actually made of 50% fructose and 50% glucose. Majority of the sweeteners that you see that are sugar-based are made of fructose. One of the worst of this fructose is corn syrup. You know the syrup we put on the pancakes, on waffles, on the foods, especially breakfast foods. That's why I talk so much about breakfast foods. We really shouldn't be eating much of them. We put them on French toast. So that's fructose right there. When fructose hits your tummy, let me give you the anatomy of it. When it hits your tummy, fructose does not get absorbed into your intestine right away. Fructose has to make its way to the liver. The body has to deal with it differently. So let's say you eat something that has sugar, that I said has 50% fructose and 50% glucose. The glucose gets into your stomach, your intestine, and goes into the bloodstream through a different mechanism. When it gets into the bloodstream, your body releases insulin, and the insulin has to work on getting it down. The fructose part of it cannot, in the form it is, cannot go into the bloodstream. It has to be shunted off into the liver. The liver has to break it, do the hard work of breaking it down, turning it into something else, and at the tail end of it, some of it becomes glucose, and then some of it becomes fat, triglycerides, essentially. So fat. And what does it do with that? The liver takes it and repackages it and puts it into your fatty cells where they stay. That's why I tell people all the time, weight gain is not just about eating fat, it's about eating the sugar. Now think about the glucose that you ate too, that came in. I said it was broken, half of it became glucose and went into the body. The body uses the glucose that comes in for energy, and whatever is left is also repackaged, sent to the liver, repackaged, and packed as fat in the fat cells. So now think about a child eating every time they eat breakfast, or be really in these Honey Nut Cheerios and some of these cereals that we have that have a lot of sugar. They are consuming fructose. I want to mention that fructose actually comes naturally in the fruits that we eat. So when you eat fruit, you eat fructose. Now, way before the food industry started making corn syrup for our pancakes and waffles, way before they started producing a lot of sugars that we put in everything, way back then, the only fructose that came into our body, into the human body really, was from fruits. So it's not too much. So your liver was able to metabolize it, do what it does with it, and it was okay. The problem is now we have those fruits, yes, and we have now more sugar. Well, now we have sugar, we have fructose, we have fructose corn syrup, we have all kinds of things. Pick up any jar of food, and I challenge you to see that it doesn't have sugar. Majority of them do. Sauces, ketchup, all of them, they have some kind of sugar. So that's why it is becoming too much for the liver. And that's why people are end up with this fatty liver disease. It is so sad to see it in children, because I know those kids cannot buy their own food. We, the parents, are buying the food. We, the parents, are taking them out to eat. We, the parents, are the one feeding them all the things that they eat. I say it's okay to use a little bit of honey, because honey also brings something to the table. There is also date syrup. It brings something to the table. What do they bring to the table? Some trace elements of some minerals and vitamins. But something like high fructose corn syrup, which I consider one of the poisons that the food industry gave to us, it brings nothing to the table. There is no other nutrients except fructose, majority of it. And then it puts the liver under stress. So we have to be careful. And then I want to talk a little bit about how we can help the liver. The easiest way to help the liver is to not bring other stuff into it. People come to me all the time talking about, what can I do to detoxify my liver? How do you detoxify the detoxifier itself? It doesn't need you to do anything extra. The only thing the liver needs you to do to help detoxify it, 1, avoid alcohol. 2, avoid high fructose corn syrup in your foods, as condiments, whichever way we use it. Avoid it. That's how you help the liver. Don't bring in medications that you don't need. You only take the medications that you need, and you are already helping your liver. Don't let anybody sell you some nonsense, because it's going to help you detoxify your liver. Eat foods that are natural. Eat foods that are good. Yes, ginger is good. It helps the liver, but that's because it's not poisoning the liver. Eat your vegetables, drink your water, stay away from soda. Soda has a lot of sugar. And what did I say about sugar? Glucose and fructose. Same thing with the juices you drink. They go in, some of them is glucose, some of them is fructose. So that's what you can do to help the liver. And I think I will be stopping here today. I have so much more to tell you about fatty liver disease, but I am committed to see that people are not poisoning their liver, believing that they are detoxifying it. Keep living well. This will be it on this one today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. And I apologize that my head was cut off on that video. That's just the way it was recorded. And I figured, hey, as long as you see me exercising, that is good enough. Bye-bye. Take care.